Hi everybody, I would like to say you something about language and personality. How the language consists of the personality and how do you enhance your personality through language. Today we are talking about the personality and the language. And first of all, what is language? We have to find that one first. And language, how the language performs the personality. How the language shows your personality, how you develop your personality through your language. So, here I'm going to say something about your personality and the language too. Okay, first, how the language is consisted. You must know about it. Language is consisted by many things, around 7 things we can find. Language means not only for speaking. Language means reading, writing, listening, speaking, as well as good phonetics, grammar, as well as vocabulary. If you have good performance among them, your personality will be developed and your career will be very high level. Here, I'm going to explain about something about language and the part of the language. Let's talk about writing. Writing means not only for script writing, writing means managerial power, writing means association power, and writing means creativity and your imagination power. A person who doesn't know writing, they can easily speak well, but they do not get more opportunity without writing anyway. So you can develop your personality through language, through your imagination power, and through your creative power and the managerial power. That's why writing helps you to develop your personality in one way. Likewise, reading. Reading means understanding powers. You can read well, but you must understand the meaning. You must know the theme. You must know the plot. Then your reading powers will be developed and you can easily understand every way. You can easily motivate the people by understanding. So, reading means not only for reading, scripting and sound, making sound. Next one's listening. Listening means understanding and conveying to other one. You can convey, you can understand what you have listened, the sound. So, listening also helps you to develop your conveying power, motivation powers, understanding power together. And next one is speaking. Generally we can speak, no problem. But just speaking is not only for language. Speaking means motivation. How you motivate the people. You can speak any type, any way, any kind of speaking, like rough speaking. You can communicate by using rude speaking, very polite speaking, very normal speaking, very honest speaking. Likewise, speaking means your motivation. How you motivate the people, how you can convince the people through your speaking. You can motivate the people through your speaking. You can convey the people through your speaking. People evaluate you by listening, by looking your speaking. So, speaking must be polite. Speaking must be motivating. Speaking must be logic. So, speaking means your logic. Speaking means your motivation. Speaking shows your personality too. Everywhere, wherever you go, whenever you are walking, wherever you are, anywhere around you, whenever you have to speak with the people, and that times you must have logic power, you must have motivation power. So your speaking will be correct. So, can you imagine that once? If you have a good logic power, if you have good managerial powers, if you have a good motivation powers, if you have good conveying powers, if you have good understanding power, and how your personality will be. How the people see you according to your speaking, according by looking your all things in language. Besides these ones, we must have good vocabulary. Vocabulary is a physical structure of the language. Physically, we can find vocabulary. If you want to say anything, you don't know meaning, then how do you develop? So, to develop your vocabulary, you must have good ideas about the word formation. Classified words you must know. You have to get ideas about the lexical resources. You must have good idea about the terminology. You must have good knowledge about antonyms, synonyms, homonyms, etc. So, if you want to influence anything, what you want to say, if you want to motivate anyone, you must have good vocabulary power, good verbal powers. Next one's grammar. Grammar is the rule and regulation of the language. Without grammar, you cannot control the language too. You can imagine if the people doesn't have ethics, if they don't have code of conduct, if they don't have any regulation, nobody knows, then how that person will be counted? How the peoples will be counted? See, so can you imagine if there is a place without any regulation, any law, any rules? Likewise, in language also, we must need good rules, good regulation, good performance. So, in language, in language, we must have good grammar. For grammar, tense, part of speech, then causative verb, sentence structure, word formation, preposition, article, voice, etc. are the most essential things. We must have good knowledge about it. Next one is the phonemes. Phonemes is the correct pronunciation. If you want to develop your correct pronunciation, we must have good knowledge about the phonemes. Without phonemes, we will make mispronunciation. And while we are doing the mispronunciation, and that times, obviously, we must have misunderstanding between two communicators. So, to communicate well, good pronunciation is also most essential. And it's called the phonology. We have to learn about the phonology. And if you have a good phonology and good ideas about phonetics, then your English will be always higher and higher position. And everyone appreciate your English language too. So, phonology is the most essential for everyone. How to develop the phonology first? You can consider with the Oxford and Cambridge dictionary. It doesn't matter. You can see there are the words and then after pronunciation given these. You can find different sounds of the different words. You can see, you can get more ideas, you can get knowledge from intonation. Rising tone, falling tone, and rising and falling tones likewise. Next one is the most important for the phonology, and you can have good knowledge about the suffix and prefix. The sound of suffix and the prefix also helps you to develop your good pronunciations in your English language. Okay, here you can think and you can say and you can realize yourself if you have a good analysis power, if you have a good managerial power, if you have a good association power, if you have a good understanding, if you have a good conveying, and if you have a good knowledge about grammar, if you have a good knowledge about the vocabulary, and if you have a plenty of vocabulary, if you have a good knowledge about the good pronunciation, then You can think how your personality will be there. Obviously, we can say, definitely you can develop your personality and everyone can appreciate your pronunciation and your language too. Thanks for today. Only this much. Okay.